The 846th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 846 of the MMA Gambling Podcast of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to fine MMA upside. Fine,
Yeah,
you get an episode
in the Atlanta one too.
Yes, you deserve an episode. Not just because of Atlanta, because you keep things moving in the old YouTube. So this goes out to MMA upside, and the rest of you people can tune in to listen as well. I would be Kaiser Del Busto, aka Jeff Fox, and this is part 2 of our UFC Fight Night. Usman versus Buckley, aka UFC Atlanta breakdown. Yesterday was all about the prelims, almost a team ride. 6 out of 7 were a team ride, and then I went off script and took a big dog, which is not like me. So
go back and listen to it. It's wild.
Yep, go back and listen to the craziness if you've not already. That's the voice you heard is Daniel Gumby Vreeland. Today we're going to break down the main card. Actually, we kind of talked about it yesterday. You like there's meaningful fights on here, and then there's also some glue factory fights. Some of them are the same fight in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting ones in there, but yeah, as I said, my sort of criticism of this card is they have prospects who they're interested in and they want to see take a step up, and then they kind of, I'll use Malcolm Wellmaker from last episode. That's a prospect they care about and they want to build up, but they didn't give him a step up. In fact, arguably they gave him a step backwards. And maybe it's just so he has a couple more highlights and a few more dollars in his pocket. But yeah, it's maybe not my favorite thing.
Yeah. We're going to make some money off this here card. There's no minus 1,000 odds or 1,600. We had minus 1,600 yesterday.
Some close.
Yeah. There's some big odds, but nothing quite that big on this episode. So let's make some money. After I remind you, you can get all of our free picks and podcasts for the Stanley Cup, College Baseball World Series, and the NBA Finals on the SGPN app. Get it wherever you get your apps. And of course, you can get all of our amazing Jeff and Gumby's amazing content as well. All right, we are, as I told you, we're doing UFC Fight Night, Usman versus Buckley, and we're actually going to talk about those guys today. We're to the main card, Saturday, June the 14th, Atlanta, Georgia. Main card, I'm guessing, would be 10 p.m. start. Yeah, actually, I remember seeing 10 p.m. Eastern Start Time. I think it's on ESPN and ESPN Plus. 6 fights we're going to cover today. It's in the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, GA, and we're kicking things off with a 205-pound fight. That would be lightweight, a light heavyweight, not a lightweight. Alonzo, Menifield, United States of America, Oumar from France. Let's break it down 3 5-minute rounds if they need it. Menifield, Atomic, is 16-5-1, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, 9-5-1 in the UFC, 1-2 over his last 3, 5-2-1 over his last 8. He did win his last bout. Used to fight at 265, 2-0 on Contender Series, 1-0 in Bellator, 2015 Pro MMA debut. He's just barely outstruck his opponents in all the data we have for him at plus 0.08, plus 500. This is the biggest one on this here main card. Biggest odds. Sai is 11-0, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's 2-0 in the UFC. Used to fight at 265. 4 inches height, 7 inches of reach, 8 years younger than Menifield. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 3.1 strikes per minute, minus 649. Obviously, size got to be the pick. Everything is in his favor. Size, youth, striking, grappling, finishing ability. Not experience, I guess. Everything else is in his favor. So give me Sai.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like the idea of him striking with Alonzo Menifield because Menifield, he's dangerous on the feet, and that's not Oumar Sai's game. Despite having KOs, a lot of TKOs in there, not a lot of standing boxing KOs. And at first, I was like, I thought about picking Alonzo Menifield in this one, to be completely honest with you, just because I've seen bad things from Sai on the feet, and then I went back and I was reminded he got taken down by. Who is that very, very, very short notice fight he had?
For who? Menifield?
Menifield. Was it Julius Walker?
Oh, yes. Last fight. I think it was last fight. Yeah, Julius Walker looked good against him.
Yeah, Julius Walker looked good against him and took him down. And I'm like, if Julius Walker is taking you down, Oumar Sai is 1,000% taking you down.
Yeah.
So I just kind of see Oumar Sai, as long as he's smart, comes in here, plows a couple of takedowns, works his top game. For me, if you're making this one interesting, and maybe you'll have to hear a little bit more from me on this later on, you got to be looking for specific finish props here, because I'm not touching that one at negative 500. I don't think, and you can actually get either of his finish props at a pretty good number.
Good. Yeah, you don't want to play minus 649 on a fight with a guy who can hit like Menifield. So, all right, we're on the same page for that. We're dropping down a weight class to middleweight. Cody Brundage, high IQ Cody Brundage. We'll see.
Maybe
versus Mansur Abdul-Malik, who was on Top Turtle last week. And that rhymes. Malik and last week rhymes. 185. Let's break it down. Brundage, maybe his nickname's high IQ. We'll see. He's 11-6 with 1 no contest, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted twice. 5-5 with 1 no contest in the UFC. 1-1 with 1 no contest over his last 3. 3-1 with 1 no contest over his last 5. A TKO win in his last bout. 0-1 on Contender Series. Who beat him, Gumby?
Oh man, I think I
stumped you.
No, because you asked me this last time, and I said Nick Maximoff and wasn't right about it.
So don't say that then.
But it's somebody like Nick Maximoff, I want to say.
He did lose to Nick Maximoff, but that was in the UFC.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why I'm thinking of that. Yeah, who do you? I'm beat on this one.
William Knight.
Oh, he's not like Nick Maximoff.
No, he's a little short dude. Little fire hydrant. He has multiple. Brundage has multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Brundage fight up at 205. He's been outstruck in the UFC in the Contender Series by 0.84 strikes per minute. Better grappling stats than Abdul-Malik, plus 550. Abdul-Malik is 8-0, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. I'll give him a nickname, Mr. Positivity. That'll be his nickname. 2-0 in the UFC, 1-0 Contender Series. He's fed at 205 as well. 2 inches height, 7 inches of reach. We have some massive reach advantages on this year fight card. 3 years younger than Brundage. You'd expect him to be much younger, but no. Better striking stats, twice more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC and the Contender Series, which I'm having trouble saying for some reason, by 1.45 strikes per minute, minus 770.
770. I'm still thinking Mansur Abdul-Malik.
Yes, he's that good.
Yeah, he's that
Except
good.
for one round. One round, you.
Yeah, that might have been one punch, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
he got clipped by Nick Klein, and look, Nick Klein has kind of surprised a lot of people with how he looked. I thought he was going to get absolutely washed on Contender Series, and he jumped in there, grabbed a choke, wound up finishing it from a weird position. That guy's crafty. But the thing about Mansur Abdul-Malik is if you don't put him away in that one moment you have, that dude's cardio is incredible. And I know we've only seen him largely in 1 and 2 round fights, but he looks just as good later on than he did early in the fight. And so his cardio's there. He's got some sort of supreme level of confidence that you mentioned at the top. He comes with a different headspace than most fighters. And Cody Brundage, we've joked about it before in the past, but he does sometimes make some pretty questionable moves here. So, does he want to grapple with Mansur Abdul-Malik? I don't think so, right? Mansur is definitely going to be the stronger wrestler, in my opinion. And is he just going to try to uncork the overhand right? If so, the reach disadvantage is going to be miserable for him, and especially the way that Mansur hits that counter. So, I think there's just way too many things working against Cody Brundage here. So I'm going to take Mansur Abdul-Malik.
Yep, I am as well. What's there not to like, really, about him? Hopefully another win for him, and we can start moving on up the old.
I think this is a move up, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You fought Nick Klein in your debut, or in then the Contender Series. Actually, his Contender Series fight was pretty good too, right? That was Party Time.
Yes,
that he beat up. So yeah, he beat Party Time and he beat Klein, and Brundage has got a pretty good record and has shown he's pretty adequate in a lot of different places. He just sometimes has a tough time putting together a game plan against a guy just like this, against Mansur Abdul-Malik.
Yeah, you went Wes Schultz, Dusko Todorovic, and then Nick Klein.
I forgot about the Todorovic fight where he knocked him silly.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into more winning picks, let me tell you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, and 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. And it's the last week to sign up and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Go to sportsgamblingpockets.com/refs, REFS, to claim your free shirt. And the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway is on. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. You get a limo ride from the airport, a $5,000 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. And you can always get 15% off at all the Circa properties with our promo code SGP15. Enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. All right, moving right along, we're dropping down to bantamweights. This is one of 3 former UFC champions on this fight card. Cody, and we have 2 tough champions on the prelims. Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni at Barcelos at bantamweight. Tell you about No Love, Cody Garbrandt, 14-6 with 11 knockouts. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted once. 9-6 in the UFC. He's the former champion. He's 2-1 over his last 3, 2-3 over his last 5. Lost his last bout via submission. He's fed at 125 at 145, 2012 pro MMA debut. He has been outstruck in the UFC by 0.78 strikes per minute. He's got an inch of height over Barcelos, 4 years younger, plus 170. Barcelos is 19-5, 8 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, 8-4 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight, and he's gone 3-4 over his last 7. He's fight up at 145. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. 2012 pro MMA debut. He is a wrestling champion, a BJJ champion. Also, a 2 inches reach over Garbrandt, better striking stats, more active landing strikes, and better grappling stats. And he's outstruck his opponents by 0.47 strikes per minute, minus 175. Give me Barcelos. No faith in Garbrandt at this point. And how's he going to beat Barcelos? Barcelos is good on the feet and better than him on the ground. So I really don't see how he's going to beat him here. So give me Raoni.
Can I ask you, just out of curiosity, because I started with the same exact mentality as you did before I started actually looking at this fight. Why don't you have confidence in Cody Garbrandt anymore?
Yeah, he did win his
2 out of the last 3.
Yeah,
2 out of the last 3, and the loss is to Davison Figueiredo.
Yeah, he's the guy I wrote off because of his chin, but then he hasn't been knocked out since, I don't think.
Correct.
Which is an issue.
And his only loss is to Davison Figueiredo by submission, which and knocked out what was it, Brian Kelleher in his second to last fight, and I want to say he had to finish the fight before that. And Barcelos is coming off that win over Peyton Talbot, but it was just by wrestling the hell out of him, right? It wasn't really wrestling the hell out of him and wearing him out. And then he beat Christian Quinones, right? Yep. And then lost to guys who are far worse than Davison Figueiredo. I'd argue in their last 3 or 4 fights, Cody Garbrandt's got the way better looking resume. And on top of that too, I'm going to sit here and say, I actually think he's got the right style to beat Raoni Barcelos too. Barcelos' striking numbers look good, but against who? And he wore down Peyton Talbot. And so that winds up looking good for his striking numbers. But Cody Garbrandt, I think at his base is a better striker than Raoni Barcelos. And in addition to that, is Barcelos' wrestling game going to work against Cody? Cody's always been a good wrestler, right? He's never been beaten up on the ground except for Davison Figueiredo. And I'm not sitting here talking about Raoni Barcelos as if he's Davison Figueiredo. He's also an old guy, right? It's not like he's young either. So I'm going to go Cody Garbrandt here. I can't believe I talked myself into it. But the more and more I was looking at his resume, the more and more how I looked at how he looked against guys who were at or above the level of Raoni, I think he can hang with him.
All right. I'm shocked, but you made a good argument. So, all right. Give him Cody Garbrandt.
I hate that.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, we're giving you Cody Garbrandt regardless. 185 is where we're going to next. Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski, U.S. versus U.S. Tell you about Petroski first. 13-3, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 8-2 in the UFC. 3-0 over his last 3. 8-2 over his last 10. 1-1 in the Ultimate Fighter. Regional champion. He's fed at 170. Better striking stats than Shahbazyan. Better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.24 strikes per minute. He's at plus 165. The golden boy, Shahbazyan. He's still young enough for that, shockingly. He still can be the golden boy. 14-5. 12 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. He owes his rounds. 7-5 in the UFC. Win, loss, win over his last 5 fights. 3-5 over his last 8. TKO win in his last bout. 1-0 in Contender Series. 2 inches height, an inch of reach over Petroski. 6 years younger. More active landing strikes. He has been outstruck, but just barely by 0.07 strikes per minute. 007. Minus 185.
My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
So I looked at this fight and I was like, man, I really wish I knew how Edmen Shahbazyan would do against a guy who doesn't really like to throw hands and just wants to take you down and beat you up and submit you down there. It would be really nice if we knew exactly what Edmen Shahbazyan would do against that type of fighter. Oh, wait a second. he just fought Gerald Meerschaert and got toasted in the second round. Like,
yeah.
In Petroski, in my opinion, may not have the jiu-jitsu of Gerald Meerschaert, but he's definitely got the wrestling of Gerald Meerschaert. And so if Gerald Meerschaert dragged you into deep waters and beat the hell out of you on the mat, this is a bad sign for you. This is not going to be a good day. And especially because, like, at least with Petroski, you're like, oh, I better watch out for the hands a little bit, right? Like, Petroski throws hard. He might not be accurate or particularly
compared to Meerschaert. Yes.
Meerschaert, when you walk in there, you're like, I know exactly what he wants to do, and it didn't stop Meerschaert from doing it to Shahbazyan. So for me, I mean, like, I can't believe we're getting Petroski at dog money here. I'm pretty excited about that one because, I don't think Shahbazyan's going to stay off his back.
I guess you can see him getting beat up in the feet, I guess.
And I can see him. The other thing too is perhaps his cardio has not been great in some past fights, right? Like, he looks like he wear it out. What was the fight he knocked himself out when he was taking down that guy's hip? Remember when he knocked himself out? Yeah. It's the Australian dude. Why is his name escaping me?
Am I gonna save you?
He looked a little bit tired in that fight.
Jacob Malkoun.
Yeah, Malkoun, the Mamba. He looked a little bit tired in that fight. And, like, maybe people are like, oh, maybe he doesn't have the cardio. It's not like Shahbazyan does. Right? Like, it's not like Shahbazyan is this, like, cardio machine who's going to, like, outwork you and tire you out. Like, Shahbazyan has kind of been known to have kind of crappy cardio over his career, too. So, like, I'll take the guy who's going to be on top in those bad cardio positions. I'll take Petroski.
And what was I going to say? And it was how I was going to start it, but what was I going to finish it with? Shahbazyan can't string any wins together here because they keep giving him slight steps up in competition, which I
think they just keep giving him bad style matchups, to be frank. Like, they just like,
losing this one again.
Hey, you won that one. What about fighting a grappler? How do you feel about a grappler?
Good job, buddy. All right. So we are moving on to the co-main event. It's a women's flyweight belt. Rose Namajunas, Miranda Maverick, United States versus United States action again. We're telling you about Fear the Maverick first, 15-5, 1 knockout, 7 submissions. She's been she's never been finished in a fight, I don't think. 8-3 in the UFC. She's won 4 straight and 6 of 7. Has not lost since June 2023. 6-2 in Invicta. 5 years younger than Namajunas. She's outstruck her opponents by 1.08 strikes per minute, plus 210. Thug Rose, 13-7, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions, knocked out once, submitted once. 11-6 in the UFC, a 2-time former champion. She's won 2 of 3 and 5 of 8. Lost her last bout. Used to fight at 115. That's where she was the champ. 3-0 in the Ultimate Fighter. 2-1 in Invicta. 2013 Pro MMA debut. 0-1 is Pro Grappler. 2 inches taller than Maverick. More active landing strikes than Maverick. Better grappling stats than Maverick. And she's outstruck her opponents by 0.23 strikes per minute. Minus 240 for the former champ. It be you this time, right?
No, this one's
it's me. All right, I'm taking a stab on the dog here. Miranda Maverick. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm unpredictable. You never. Well, that's because I'm always writing off Rose Namajunas at this point. Who knows what Rose is going to show up in the cage here? I like her better down a weight class. Maverick is very small, but Maverick's also very, very strong and physical and younger. And I'm thinking she can grind out a win here over Namajunas. I'm willing to take her at plus 210 at the very least. I don't have enough faith in Namajunas to take her at this number against a younger, hungrier fighter at this point in Maverick. So give me Fear the Maverick.
I'm taking Thug Rose.
I'm kind of surprised.
Well, here's why. So I really like Miranda Maverick, right? But, like, let's face it, her path to victory here is what? Grind it out. Mm-hmm. She's going to have to take her down a bunch of times, beat her up on the mat, hold her down, which is also not particularly easy with Rose Namajunas unless she comes in with that weird game plan where she's not fighting. She's way longer than Miranda Maverick to the point where it's going to make Maverick have a really tough time closing the distance. And then I went back and reminded myself about that fight she had with Erin Blanchfield. And yes, she lost to Erin Blanchfield, right? If it's a 3-round fight, she beats Erin Blanchfield. She won rounds 1 and 2 on every single judge's scorecards until she started to tire a little bit and gave up takedowns in 3, 4, and 5. So if you can defend enough takedowns to take rounds 1 and 2 off of Erin Blanchfield, I have to believe you can do that against Miranda Maverick. Maverick is working against a short clock here, and I don't think is going to be able to, get enough of her wrestling going early to beat Rose Namajunas. And Rose is infinitely better than her on the feet. And with as I mentioned before, like, she didn't have that much size and reach over Erin Blanchfield. Now she's going to have tons of reach, right, over Maverick, who's, very short and not small. She's buff as hell. But not, she's very short for her division. I think she's going to get picked apart from the outside at least for 2 rounds, and we're going to see Rose Namajunas cruise to a decision.
Yep, all very plausible, but I'm willing to take my chances, like I said. So we shall see. We have to disagree on a few fights to make it more interesting. Anyhow, all right. Before we get to our main event, I have a feeling we're not going to disagree on that. Let me tell you about Underdog. It is time for Gumby's bonus Underdog pick 'em play of the episode. He told you yesterday what was coming up. Underdog is going long for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. All right, what's the play?
Oh, Davis Martin. Do you know Davis Martin?
No, I just know him. You mentioned him yesterday.
Yeah, because when we were talking about a different sponsor, which we'll talk about in 2 seconds, I was alerted to just how good Davis Martin has been lately with his strikeouts. He's coming off of a game where he had 7, and maybe you don't know too much about the White Sox because they're miserable to watch. But Davis Martin has kind of been a little bit of a shining star for him. So let's take the higher than on Davis Martin strikeouts.
All right, take that and take our code MMASGPN. And when you sign up at Underdog Fantasy with that code, you get a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credit. So underdogfantasy.com with the promo code MMASGPN. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. For example, a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We will. This is where Gumby found out the Davis Martin stuff from, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Because when you check out their Power Trends, you get little nuggets about guys you've never heard of.
Yep. So get your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. Last but not least, we are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in every sport, including the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Obviously, all the lines we're talking about right now are on the old mybookie.ag. When you do head there to check out the lines, use our promo code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And we're to our main event. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a welterweight feature fight, we'll say. Kamaru Usman from Nigeria versus Joaquin Buckley from the United States, 5-minute rounds if they need it. The Nigerian Nightmare, Usman, is 20-4 with 9 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. He's a durable guy. 15-3 in the UFC and the former champion of the world. He's lost 3 straight fights. Before that, he won 17 straight. He's not fought since October 2023. He's not won since November 2021. 2-0 the Ultimate Fighter and the champion. That's another tough. We have 3 tough champions and 3 former champions on this fight card. He made his debut back in 2012. He was the NCAA wrestling champion. 2 inches of height over Buckley, better striking stats, more active landing strikes than Buckley, better grappling stats than Buckley. He's outstruck his opponent from 1.62 strikes per minute, plus 225. New Mansa, Buckley is 21-6 with 15 knockouts. He's been knocked out 4 times. 11-4 in the UFC. He's won 6 straight and 9 of 11. 2 straight wins have come via knockout or TKO. He's not lost since December 2022. Used to fight at 185. 3-2 in Bellator. 2014 Pro MMA debut. 7 years younger than Usman. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.09 strikes per minute, minus 250. All right, take it away.
Yeah, I'm going Buckley. I thought about this one for a minute because, Usman's last fight with, was it Khamzat?
Yep.
I actually came away feeling better about where his career was at, and then we didn't see him for a year and a half.
Yep.
Right, and that's the problem for me in this one. It's not even that he's old and maybe not himself. Like, I would take a slightly past his prime Usman, but my big problem in this one is how good has the wrestling and the wrestling defense of Joaquin Buckley been down at 170? He's on this 6-fight winning streak largely because we all saw him as this karate kickboxer kind of guy up at 185 pounds who does spinny stuff and it's a lot of fun. And since he's come down, it's been when he's in his proper weight class, all of his skills play, every single one of his skills play. And that includes a really good wrestling game. And I think here that's going to be pretty easy to stop Usman because that's Usman's path to victory here in the second part of his career. And then in addition to that too, you have a quick, fast striker who is definitely faster than Usman at this stage. And Usman is going to have issues with his timing due to the layoff, right? Like that's the biggest issue with having not fought for a while, is that like often it takes a while for your timing to come back.
Yep.
Bad timing against Joaquin Buckley, bad news. So yeah, I'm all about Joaquin Buckley in this fight. I'm going to throw this one out here because I didn't previously have it in any of my fancy dancy picks. I kind of like the Buckley by KO line.
Yeah.
Buckley by KO plus 165. You know, you can get that all the way from negative to positive, and he gets 5 rounds to try to do it. I like that.
You know what else is bad for your timing? Being old. Timing tends to go when you're old, and it's not going to get better by not fighting for years. We've heard stories for years about how Usman can't walk and his knees are shot, and he's fighting a athletic
dude who will
freak,
chop his knees right the hell down.
an athletic freak who can also wrestle. So yeah, it's a bad matchup. Good line though. Minus 250 is not a bad line for this at all. So
on a fight card with some pretty bad lines.
Yeah. All right, let's recap, and then we'll give you our bonus plays here. Both have Buckley. He has Namajunas. I have Maverick. Both have Petroski. He has Garbrandt. I have Barcelos. We both have Abdul-Malik. We both have Sai. All right. Locks, dogs, props, and either a lightning round or not a lightning round. What's it called again, Gumby? We're just gonna
go super fan John.
Parlay.
Yeah, we're just gonna go parlay this week.
Right.
I'm actually gonna dump out a whole bunch of prop odds I saw that I'm kind of interested in, but I couldn't commit to any of them except for a couple of smaller ones. So why don't you hit us with your lock first?
Lock is Joaquin Buckley. I just told you why. Minus 250 is not that on a card with a lot of bad lines. It's not the worst line in the world. So
I settled on the same thing.
Okay.
I was looking for something that looked nicer, and I'm like, I don't really like any of the other lines. Like if you are playing a straight money line and you need to win bad, I think Joaquin Buckley is kind of where you have to be with that.
Yep. All right. For the dog, give me Petroski, and we just told you why as well. So plus 165.
All right, I'm going to differ slightly with you on that one. I'm going to go with Phil Rowe. I like Phil Rowe's reach, his ability to finish, the fact that he's going to be fighting a guy much shorter than him. Give me Phil Rowe.
I would have taken Phil Rowe, but instead I'm taking him on my prop play. Big prop. Phil Rowe inside the distance, because if you're going to pick Phil Rowe, that's the only way he wins. He's won all of his fights inside the distance, plus 300.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I think I was looking for some of his. Oh no, there was a different line I was looking for. But for my prop, I'm gonna go Michael Chiesa submission. Okay. I think he's gonna wear down Court McGee. I think he's gonna get Court McGee to make one bad shot, and he'll either take his back or hit him with some front choke positions. So give me Court McGee's submission line, which is plus 200.
All right, plus 200. Excellent. So Buckley are both of our locks. He's got Rowe. I got Petroski as our dogs, but we're in on both of those guys. Chiesa via sub, Rowe inside the distance. All right, Hungerman Jog Superfan parlay Gumby.
So I'm just going to go with a pair of submissions here that I like. I mentioned Chiesa, but I'm actually not going to use him in the Hungerman Jong. Instead, I'm going to use Oumar Sai's submission line. I know Menifield has never been subbed, which is why we're getting this Oumar Sai line at plus 160. But, you know, I just see the way that Sai is going to approach this game and not want to be in striking range with Menifield. I like him with like an arm triangle or something here. So give me Oumar Sai by submission. And then I'm going to put another kind of wild card in here, a guy with only one submission in his career. But I'm going to take Ochoa. I think here, yeah. So he's only got one submission in his career, but it is his last fight before he got to the UFC, his last win. And he showed some like really good Dars choke positions against the guy who really badly wanted to wrestle him. So I think you see him piece up Cody Durden here. And then when Durden gets desperate, shoot in for a takedown and get subbed, which we've also seen from Durden, right? Like he lost to Jimmy Flick that way. I think he shot in for a takedown and wound up getting flying triangled or something like that. So, you know, we've seen Durden get subbed. I've seen Ochoa with some pretty good sub skills. He's plus 475 on the sub. So if you take his 475 in the 160, you're going to get 1395 on that parlay.
All right, Sai sub, Ochoa sub, 1395. All right, you're all set for UFC Atlanta.
Oh, hang on. I said I was going to dump
props
out. Let me dump a bunch of props on you guys that are like interesting and ridiculous. Mansur Abdul-Malik, like he's going to win, right? But like his KO line unplayable. He like KOs people and subs people at the same rate, but his sub line is plus 850.
Oh,
I don't know why that is. That seems weird, right? So I like that. I know Chris Motino has been knocked out in both of his UFC bouts, but like he took a savage beating from Sean O'Malley and never really fell down. Granted, that fight could have been stopped 35 different times, but like if Malcolm Wellmaker comes out maybe a little bit more complacent, or maybe the wrestling of Motino stalls him, the decision line on Malcolm Wellmaker, who could just beat the hell out of him for 15 minutes, is plus 750. I don't hate that line either. And then the only other one I was going to throw out there, Jamie Lynn Horth, if she somehow gets it done inside a distance, which I teased a little bit on the last show, just by if she got 5 finishes and 7 wins, that was plus 400. So all of those worth like a little sprinkle if they are fighters or styles that you particularly like.
All right. There you go. Lots of bonus content for you. You can get more from us if you need more in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube, in the comment section, MMA Gambling Podcast. Hit that subscribe button, though. First, please and thanks on the old Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. You can hit me up on Instagram, same thing, Jeff Fox Writer. Now we told you who's going to win and how. Enter my free UFC Pick'em contest and win yourself some prizes at moneymma.substack.com. Listen to Gumby's other podcast, the Top Turtle MMA podcast. Tell the people who is on it this week.
We got a pair of fighters who are going to be on Dana White's Contender Series in August. We got Tommy Kuwozi as well as Jimmy Drago.
So check it out. Both good interviews. I've heard them both. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get all of our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We'll be back on Sunday. I'm thinking next week is going to be 2 PFLs and an LFA. Does that sound right?
Oh, love that. Love hearing that.
There you go. There's lots of other good stuff too, but I think that's basically what we're going to do. But until then, Gumby will bid you farewell.
I'm Dana Gumby Vreeland. He's No Love Jeff Fox, and we will see you on Sunday.